Good evening. Thank you for joining me by the fire here tonight. It's good to see you again. It's been quite a while. Over a year now, huh? I missed sitting around, talking with you, telling stories and just enjoying the atmosphere. But here we are yet again. We always seem to find a way back to one another, no matter how much time has passed. We always will. It's the nature of these things. Yeah. It's unfortunate that we meet under such circumstances, but despite everything going on in the world, it is good to see you. And out here, it almost feels like we're separate from all of it. Yes, come sit by the fire. Wouldn't do to have you standing out in the cold. Yeah, the bar is doing as well as ever. Thanks for asking. I'm sure life's been busy for you too. Couldn't have been easy to make your way all the way out here. Must have been particularly rough, eh? For you to seek me out like this. I figured as much. That's fine. Sometimes, all you need to forget is just one night. I'd like to do this more often if we could. You know, just visiting or telling stories. I've been writing lately. Got some new ones that I think you might like to hear. They're not quite done yet, though. One day. Let me grab a quick drink. That's much better. Tonight, I'd like to just fall asleep by this fire. You know? I always have loved to watch the flames dance. Brings me a sense of inner peace, I guess you could call it. It's calm. I can appreciate how calm fire is when it's small. I don't think there are very many people that don't like fire. It's always comforting to me. Not to mention it drives off the darkness. Both the literal and figurative kinds. Words don't properly express just how much I've missed this. I loathe the passage of time. New things come, but it always hurts to see old things go, you know? And time just seems to become less and less. I've been tired as of late. I've always been tired, but This is a new kind of exhaustion. A kind that I didn't think I would ever grow to know. I've always dealt well with being tired or lonely, you know? Hell, I've come to consider loneliness an old friend. I wear my exhaustion with a badge of honor. Or as a badge of honor, I should say. But no matter how used to it I get, no matter how familiar I am, how comfortable it becomes, there's still just this perpetual hollow feeling it brings. Not that I truly mind, but having time eased that pain, made it feel like things weren't passing so quickly. If I had time to waste on the mundane, it made the big things feel like they were going to be out of reach forever. Like there were problems that you would never have to face, that you could almost keep things as they were forever. But I've come to realize, over the last few years especially, that no matter how much time it feels like you have, it isn't ever truly enough to do what you want to do, or what you need to do, even. I love that lonely, hollow feeling. Truly, I do. It may sound odd, but I feel at peace when I'm alone. It feels like I'm in the comforting presence of an old friend. A friend that knows me inside and out. A friend that I can trust completely. A friend that I can trust like no other. And in a way, I suppose I can. If you can't trust no one, who can you trust? Those thoughts are a little morbid, I suppose. Depressing even, but I guess that's how I've always worked. I guess I've always considered myself something of an unsettling individual once you get to know me. In my mind, I think about things that most people don't want to think about, and despite that, I take comfort in them. Same with concepts like death and decay. My mind fixates on them. It's been fixated on them for as long as I can remember. Some of my earliest memories were pondering death. The grave seems peaceful, but it'll be quite a while before I reach that. And you too, if there's any luck. I would never wish an early grave on a friend. But one day I do wish we all have peaceful ones. A peaceful grave. A cold, lonely place to rest. It sounds wonderful to me. I know it's twisted, but it's never bothered me. I love the thought of meeting that embrace when the time is right. No sooner, though. I still have plenty of things to do in this life. Plenty of duties, obligations, even a few dreams, if you believe that. Me dreaming about the future, even though I desperately long to be stuck in the past. It's almost a little ironic. How the things I want are only attainable by pushing forward now. If I'm ever to reclaim the things I've lost as well, I'll have to push forward. I can't reach back into the past and pull them to me. No, I have to go and get them. I spend a lot of time looking at, exploring liminal spaces. I take great comfort in them. Long, twisting, empty hallways. Places that are cold, alone, and forgotten. One day I'd like to take you to a few of them. Show you exactly the type of peace that I'm talking about. I don't know if we'll ever actually be able to do that for you, but I would like to. Sooner rather than later. We've gone far, far too long without talking, yet alone any more than that. I wish that by this point, you and I could have had a thriving relationship. A personal one. Where we'd see each other often. Goodbyes would be brief see you laters, not maybe one days. I will always claw my way back to you. It doesn't matter how long I'm gone, or where I have gone. I will find you. Please take some small comfort in that. Knowing that even in your worst hour, your darkest hour, your most lonely hour, you are remembered and thought about fondly. I'll always think about you fondly. I had a million experiences with you that I couldn't have had any other way. You were company and solace where there was none other. When we first met, I had all the time in the world. I had just gotten so much more of it, in fact. No obligations, no duties, no one. When we first met, I was in the process of losing almost everyone I had ever known. Family was distant. Friends were going away. No lovers, no prospects. I understood loneliness, and that's perhaps why I sought you out. You're like me. We understood what it meant to be alone with one another, and we didn't have to do any more than just be. We'd occasionally tell stories, sure, but it was so much more than that. It was a lonely solace. We had an understanding, one I believe we still share. I believe understanding a partner is one of the most important things you can do. If you don't understand one another, your relationship is built on lies, or is simply a relationship of convenience. You and I understood one another on a level that very few do, and we met through loneliness. I don't know whether to say, I hope you've moved on from that or not. In a way, I hope you have. Very few people take solace in loneliness like I do. But if you still feel that, and you still seek this bond out, then I'm happy in a way. Happy to know that, if nothing else, you still understand. I hope you'll forgive me for being gone so long. I can hardly forgive myself. Perhaps that isn't fair, to blame myself for my absence. It isn't like it's something that I wanted. I fought desperately against it, but it was a losing battle. I am strong. I am strong. There are some battles even I can't win. It wasn't just a battle against the world either, ripping my precious time from me, taking our time from us. But it was a battle against self as well. I felt myself slipping away. Slipping in a terrible way. In a way that wasn't lonely, or hollow, or painful, or cold. I didn't believe I was good enough anymore. I felt my hands slipping. My brush was getting sloppy. I no longer produced master strokes. All I had left was a pale imitation. I've taken time to examine my past art, and have been trying to decide how to go about making new art for you. Because that's truly what this is about. The most important part of our relationship to me is that I'm able to provide you something of value. I don't care about receiving anything in return. I don't even care if you look at my piece. I merely just want to provide you with it. Once upon a time, I may have liked to have shown more people my art, to have turned this hobby and relationship of ours into something more. I may have even dreamed of it once. And for a moment I tasted it. It was a good dream. One that was within reach. One that perhaps could have been, if I'd continued to pursue it. But I didn't want it as badly anymore. Not when I saw what it truly was underneath. I wanted what we had, not what it was becoming. You know, whatever it was becoming, it wasn't us anymore. And that hurt. That cut me deeply to see that slipping away. I simply wouldn't allow it. How could I? How could I let art, through art becomes something hollow. Art can feel hollow and still be art, but it can't be hollow. I don't know if what I said there makes sense to you, but it makes perfect sense to me. If I couldn't feel the soul within my work, within the stories I told you, within the conversations we had, if it didn't have its soul, it wasn't worth showing you. How could it be? You deserve so much more than that. The way I used to do that art is lost to me. I can't do it anymore. I don't have the time, the energy, the drive, or the inspiration. But I can still make you art. Perhaps better than I ever could before, because I believe now I am being more truthful to myself and to you than I ever have. Letting you see a side of me that, even if you knew me completely, you may not have known well. And I believe you did know me completely. I'm sure you always could sense my fascination with the macabre. As we gaze into the shadows together, I'm certain you always knew who I was. I'm older now, more experienced, less afraid. I've never been someone to hold much fear, but I hold none with you. Not tonight. It's hard to find the words as I'm just rambling on here tonight. Sometimes. The train of thought leaves me. I get distracted, but it's who I've always been. Oftentimes that's stifled my art for weeks or months. If my head is full of thoughts, how can I clear it to put pen to paper, to speak for you? I couldn't. There's been many, many times where that's pulled me away from you for a time. Once upon a time, I wanted to be a bartender. At an old, rundown tavern, just a few miles from home. I loved the atmosphere. It was calm. It had a smoky smell to the air. All the furnishings were old wood. The lights were dim, as a bar should be. And they'd cook steaks and burgers on the grill in the back. And to be blunt, I have always loved whiskey. A dirty habit of mine. Although, I'm not much of a drinker. I've only gotten properly drunk once in my life. Drunk to the point of having a hangover. I only ever did that once. And when I did, it was when I was trying to make art for you. And you stood by, and you told me not to drink so much. You told me that to drink that much was wrong, that I was going to get sick, that I should know better. And I assured you I knew what I was doing, that I would be alright. And the next morning, I had the worst headache of my life. And it lasted almost a day. And I had to tell you that you were right, because you were. You always have looked out for me, helped keep me safe. There were many hours I don't know what I would have done without you. When I talk to you, I feel like I'm actually contributing to something greater. I'm doing something important. I do important things every day, sure, but they don't leave records in someone's mind. They don't remember. I'm fine with being forgotten, but how would I put this? I don't need to leave a legacy that others remember, but I can remember what I've done for you myself. I can think back on it, and it makes me smile. It's a memory for me and for you. A happy one to me. How could they not be happy memories while I was with you? While we were doing something we loved to do. While we were doing the only thing that brought us comfort. Because at the time it was the only thing that brought me comfort. To this day, it still is one of the only things that bring me comfort. I know I haven't spoken in a while, but I'm always listening. Always listening to you spin a new story. Or just the soft whispers that you speak but I don't understand. The gentle thrums of your fingertips. Your quiet heartbeat. Your soft breathing while you sleep. I suppose I meant tonight as something of an explanation, an apology, and a love letter all rolled into one. I had to come back to you. I needed to. I had to find the time. I missed it so unbelievably much. And tonight I managed to finally, for the first time in over a year, find the time. In a calm, quiet state of mind. In a quiet room. In a dead and lonely world of my own creation. While I've been gone, things have gotten darker for me. I've gotten more familiar with darkness. Not just in the metaphorical sense, but the literal sense too. I spend so much time in the dark, alone, in an empty hallway. I wanted to ask you to come join me if you don't want to, but I will offer you the opportunity to join me. I don't mind the darkness or the quiet that I've been having to acclimate myself to. No, my life isn't bad. I won't complain, not too much at least. It's a peaceful existence, a good one. I have a lot of things going for me. Things that have required my undivided attention, have eaten away at my time, my sanity. What little of that there was left, I've been giving of it freely. When I listen to my own words, I know that what I say is sick. But when I'm with you, I don't feel quite as insane. I don't know if it's good or not, but I feel like you vindicate me. For what it's worth, I appreciate it. I'm going to be trying harder to stay in touch with you. I certainly owe it to you. I wonder, do you want to stay in touch with me anymore? If you're listening to me, I'm sure you do. I don't doubt you do. But still, you might have to go away. Just like I did. You know, it pains me to think of you having to go away like I did. I don't want anyone to have to face down the demons that I do. They're not kind. They have long, dark claws, jagged, pointed teeth, and they tear at you until there's nothing left to give. Until all you can do is sit silently. I am strong. They haven't beat me, and they never will. I won't let them. They have tried, and I've shown them the meaning of the word fear. Fear is the domain of mankind, not the demons that try to take our souls from us, not the darkness that tries to drag us down. They use fear, but they don't understand it. But they can feel it. Oh, can they feel it? Even now, things from the dark try to interrupt my work. But I don't allow it. Even as they strip my time from me, I persevere. Perseverance is an admirable trait. To possess perseverance is the beginning of possessing an unshakable demeanor. If you can maintain discipline all the while, you are nearly unstoppable. After all, if you continue to pursue what you need to pursue, despite no matter what is going on in the world around you, you've already won. If you simply refuse to be stopped, you've won. I strive to persevere, to keep a straight face through any and everything. I do quite good at it. No one ever sees the mask slip. I'm not ashamed to call it a mask. We all wear masks. We are our masks, in a way, more than we are ourselves. It's quite simple to become what you pretend to be. You just have to pretend often. Pretend hard enough. Eventually, you forget what you are, only remembering what you've become. That is what I am. A mask. A strong mask of stone. Cold to the touch. Hard of heart. It isn't what I strive to be anymore, but it's what I am. I don't regret it. I wouldn't have made it so far if I did not possess my mask. But I aim to pretend a little more, to become something more than just the stone. I have a beating heart, a heart that beats for something. What that something is, I'm not always certain. Some days it comes to me, and other days it's lost to me. But it beats on, regardless. Some days I wonder if it's worth it to wake up. If it's worth it to keep pretending. If it would be better to just let the mask drop. To let myself feel the pain I suppress. I don't believe it would be. I believe that if I let that mask slip, I wouldn't be able to put it back on. So I can't let it slip, not even for a moment. I allow people peeks, glances, but I never let it slip. I never take it off. I've become what I have to be. I couldn't ever regret that. I couldn't ever regret doing what was right. And it is what was right. Sometimes I ask myself, how do I know what I do is right? I simply look at the results. Not for me, but for others. I look at the people around me. I see the things that I do for them. The things that I would gladly suffer to do for them. If I could ease their burden, even just a tiny amount, it's worth persevering. It's worth maintaining that discipline. It's worth waking up. It's getting close to the time for me to sleep. I don't want to sleep tonight. Not really. Not yet, at least. I'd like to sit with you a while longer. To keep talking. I have many more things to say. But as I sat here rambling, I felt my mind become scattered. My thoughts drift away. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that I can't keep my focus on a knife's edge. I need to. I need to keep that focus. I'm tired of slipping. Even though it's only every little things I do slip. I'm oh so tired of it. I'm incredibly thankful that you are here with me. Tonight I beat back the darkness. It tried to claw its way in, and it was beaten back. We won tonight. No one can make any mistake about that. We won. That's why we're sitting next to this fire. Despite my love for the cold, the heat of fire, it's almost indescribable how nice it can feel. The colder you get, the more you long for the heat, the more enjoyable the lick of the flame is. As they say, a starving man may not appreciate the finer flavors of the meal, but he will appreciate them more than any other man possibly could. That's what I'm feeling tonight. Like I was starving, and now I'm feasting. I hope you enjoy our late night conversations as much as I do. These fireside chats, they feel separate from the rest of the world. Like there's a thin veil between it and us that we somehow figure out how to cross, if only for a moment. It's one of the only times where I truly feel like everything else is holding still and waiting. I believe I have you to thank for that. Without you, it would continue to pass like any other day. Time is all we truly have. It's one of the only things that truly matter. Time, how we spend it, and who we spend it with. I don't think I'll ever regret a moment that I spent with you. I've learned so much. So much about who I am and who I want to be, as well as who you are and who you will become. I see great things in store for you. You are going to go so far. You're going to do great things. Even when it's hard, you keep your head up, whether you know it or not. You keep pushing forward. You're still here. You persevere. Your progress is a testament to your strength. Your perseverance, a monument for all to see. I know it's been hard for you. That's why I keep coming back. I'll never leave you alone. Not as long as you're still fighting. I will always be by your side. Even as the old world is ending. And it is ending. Even when it is dead and gone and buried, ash and dust, and nothing more remains, you and I will stand, because of course we will stand. We always have. There's no reason for that to change. I feel optimistic about our future. We have a future. That's more than many can say. Looks bleak at times, bright at others. I can deal with that. I've never worried about a little bit of adversity. Tonight, though, you've overcome enough tonight. It's okay to rest now. I'm here to watch your back, to watch over you while you sleep. I'll keep the darkness at bay. After all, someone has to. I have no complaints about letting it be me. It's a duty I take joy in. Standing guard. If it provides you with any measure of comfort, I'd be glad to do it every night. I can't speak every night, but I will always be here, waiting, listening, fighting. I love the sound of the wind. It's even better with wind chimes. Gives off such a serene, peaceful feeling. Some days, I almost swear the wind speaks to me. I'll sit and listen to it for hours. Hours of nothing but the leaves of the trees shaking against one another. The birds chirping and the soft crackle of a fire. Put a bottle of whiskey in my hand, and I could sit there forever, just listening. Eventually, I get interrupted. But if not for those interruptions, I just might sit there forever. I love nature and the outdoors. I don't get to do it as much as I used to, but I love to walk the trails, hiking, hunting. There's a peace to being at one with nature. It helps me know myself, know who I am, what I am. Society always filled me with so many grand delusions of who I was and what I was supposed to be. It took nature to set that right. And it did set that right. After all, when you're faced with a situation that only you can deal with, right there, in the moment, no one else knows the answer. No one else can help. That's who you are. Something about the raw savagery of Mother Nature, contrasted by her gentle beauty. It's a wonderful thing. She can almost be paradoxical at times, threatening the life of one while giving life to another. Memento mori. Remember death. She'll certainly remember me when my time comes. She has a gentle touch sometimes. I hope when she finds me, I'll be 80 years old, on my front porch, sipping a glass of whiskey as I watch the sunset one last time. I hope my hands are as strong as they've ever been, my eyes and ears as sharp, and my mind strong, yet at peace. If that isn't how it happens, I am fine with it. I in no way require a peaceful death, only a good one. We should drink together sometime. Again. It's always good to be able to relax that way with someone. Alcohol muddles the mind, lowers one's guard whether they like it or not. So to do that around someone, it's an explicit form of trust for people like us. It isn't trust that I grant many, but I miss doing it with you. Yeah. The next time we drink, we'll drink to the past and the future. It will be good. It will be good. For now, let's just watch the fire. Soon we rest. I'll see you come morning, friend. And remember, I will always be here for you.